to get a passport until that is rectified. So one of the documents you're going to be submitting is your authenticated copy of your passport application, along with the other stuff I'm going to show you. So that's what I'm adding to it. Plus, I changed the language in some of the documents, and I'm also adding years ago we talked about the injunction. So that has been changed. It's kind of, you can still look at it like an injunction, but that is going to be an option you can include with submitting your paperwork. All right. Someone said they're waiting for 2 months for the authentication. Yes, authentication takes a while. Sometimes they call you, and if you don't answer, they'll send you a letter. But it took me 3-4 months to get mine back, and COVID has not been helping that situation out at all. All right, so let's go to close the screen out. Let's go here. I'm gonna share the screen in a minute. As soon as all right. Every state, well, I won't say every. Yes, Michael, you have to request your authentication. All right, let's go over here, share the screen. All right, this is an article that came out in February 6th of 2018, which is funny that it let me make sure this, are you guys seeing that screen? With the woman's driver's license, the head?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, good.
Yes, I can.
All right.
It's cut off. Are we supposed to be seeing the full license?
Well, it's cut off because I
Okay.
have to scroll through it. You should be seeing me scrolling now. You good?
Good.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the article. And on this article, it explains how in North Carolina, they passed a bill for the American Indians to have a designation on the driver's license. They can opt in to do that. Then I went and researched 1 or 2 more states, and guess what? Pretty much all of them had the option to self-identify who you are and have it on your driver's license. Now, one of the pitfalls is, which we all know, is that is that they only leave a certain designation for you to check off. And we all know why that is, right? They want you to fit into one of their U.S. citizen titles. And my old teaching is don't fit into a U.S. citizen title. Hang on, there's someone trying to get in here. I don't know. I know there's a couple of extra double entries in here. Hang on a second. When they say black, white, and other, they are locking you in to what they perceive who you are. And that's against your rights, because you have a right to say who you are. They don't have a right to tell you who you are. And for years, we've been allowing them to psychologically deceive us into checking off one of these boxes because we felt like we had no other choice. You see what I'm saying? So, but you have choices. And the law is clear, because I'm going to pull out some of these laws and show you in these states, they actually say you have an option to self-identify. In the late 1980s, the State Division of Motor Vehicles decided that vague notation was not needed to meet the law's requirements for a description of the driver, and race was removed from the license starting in January 1990. Now, I know why they probably removed it, because once they identify who people really are, then they realize what jurisdiction they fall in. So if they get you to pick one of theirs, then everybody's assumed to be in their jurisdiction. So they static are being sacrificed. And that's, if your stuff's not available, they can't hear it. Sometimes you got to feel your way through the dark, and I struggled all the way up into the minute. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all you guys.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.
And that static are being sacrificed. And that's, if your stuff's not available, they can't hear it. Sometimes you got to feel your way through the dark, and I struggled all the way up into the minute. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all you guys.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.
And that static are being sacrificed. And that's, if your stuff's not available, they can't hear it. Sometimes you got to feel your way through the dark, and I struggled all the way up into the minute. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all you guys.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.
All right, peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to everyone. To you, your family. Hoping you guys are hearing me good enough out here. Turn this down a little bit here. Every time I do an update, stuff get missing. But anyway, I hope everybody's doing good. It is December the 24th. Today, this is what they would call Christmas Eve. The day before everybody starts exchanging gifts and giving, showing love and care to their family. I hope that people are showing love and care throughout the year, instead of just picking this one day to do it. I hope that they are get my phone over here going off. They are doing that all throughout the year. They don't have to wait until December the 25th to do that. But I know it's traditions. We have these traditions that we follow. And if that's what you want to do, that's fine. So I see people who've come to realize how these holidays are nothing but commerce, and they like to criticize people who celebrate the holidays. There's no need to do that. It really isn't. Sometimes that one day for some people is just a big deal. This is the time that, just think about it. A lot of people, for the most part, work all year just to get to this day. Just to be able to afford this day. So to them, in the programming that they are used to, the traditions that they're used to, this is a big deal for them. So when you come and try to destroy their hopes on that, that's not cool. Because just because you're aware of maybe these holidays are not grounded in any type of biblical facts, and you also realize that it's more of a way for these big businesses to make money off of you. But at the core of most people's values or belief systems. They just want time off with their family. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's just a time that people, I don't really celebrate holidays, but I do like getting together as a family and doing things as a family. So if that's the time of the year we're going to do it, we're going to do it like that. I know what the foundations of my beliefs are, and that's all that's important. The issue that we start to, where we go wrong, we take what's important to me or to you and try to make it important for someone else. Right? Christ hit the scene. He came on the scene to teach people how to be Christ-like, to have a Christ mind. And with that comes the wisdom that not everybody's going to listen to what you have to say or agree with what you have to say. And you have to be okay with that and just shake the dust off and leave in peace. You come to the house in peace and then you leave in peace. May your peace return back to you. Right? It actually, there's a scripture that even talks about that. Oh, let's see. I was reading so many scriptures this morning that I probably moved away from it. But I'll summarize it. He was teaching them how to teach the people, heal the people from all kinds of ailments, whether it be mental, spiritual, or physical. And he said, when you enter into a house, bring peace with you. Wish that household a peace. But if they don't want to hear what you have to say, may your peace return to you. What does that mean? May your peace return to you. That means that when someone doesn't agree with you, you don't have to be contentious about it. Just let your peace return. Okay, that's what you want. So be it. And let your peace return to you. So what it means is do not lose your peace over someone else's not believing what you believe. Don't do it. I've gotten caught up in that a lot. You know, you figure you start learning, you want to teach people, and your enthusiasm is to get people to understand, here's the truth. But you got to remember, the truth that you determine to be truth is really just that, your truth. That's really all it is. No one else really cares about your truth. Let's look at it truthfully. Most people don't care about what you believe is true or not. What they care about is what they believe is true or not. And that is it. Large majority of people are not trying to come to an understanding about what you know or even want to share, especially if it goes against their indoctrination or their programming. Again, why do you use the word like indoctrination? I use that word because we're all indoctrinated on some level, or have been. And even if you have detox from a lot of the indoctrinations, you still have some remnants of that left over. That's why once you start to clean your house, what I mean by clean your house, clean your mind and purge all of the misinformation out, you got to keep on studying. You got to keep on it, because what will happen is what? Those demons that you cleaned out will come back, and it will come back with 7 more demons then, and it'll be worse for you than it was when you started off. So that's why I'm talking about today. What is the what can you do leading up into the new year so that you can stay on point with all of the things that you say you want, all of the positive things? What are some of the things you can do? Number one is make a list of what you want. Think about that list and make a list. And be careful. Make a list. And let me tell you something. I want you to also be mindful that you are in the habit of doing things all year. All year for these years that you've been breathing, living. So try not to make a list that you pretty much is going to have a hard time keeping up with, or it's going to burden you. Because if you make a list that will burden you, you will tire out real fast, and you will revert back to your old ways, and maybe even worse. That's that thing you hear a lot of people talking about. This doesn't work. This doesn't. No, everything can work for you if you are deliberate and consistent, and you don't try to do too much at once. Remember, it took you years to get to the point where you are now, and it's gonna take you time to dial some of that stuff back. It's gonna take you time, but you got to be serious. What did I want to? I wanted to. So when making this list, I don't even like using the word realistic, because just be mindful of your responsibilities that you have already. Just be mindful. I won't say realistic, because realistic, a lot of people say be real. There was a lot of things that people say, you better be realistic. You can't fly that. You can't do that. And then someone came in, what they said was unrealistic. They made it happen. So you can do anything you want to if you work towards it. But also be mindful that you have been living a certain way and you're trying to make some serious changes. And it's going to take, just be mindful that you may fall off the horse. You may fall off the path. Just get back up and get on the path. That's what I want you to be mindful of that. Whatever you put down on that paper, in that list that you're going to work on, and you lose track or you get off course, just realize that's part of the process and it's okay. What's important is that you restart. No matter how many times you got to restart, you got to restart it 100 times, restart. Do not stop. That's the point I'm trying to make. Keep trying it. Even to go over and over and over again, just pick up, just go back. Even if you have to go back to the beginning, it's okay. What's key is you will develop a habit of keep on trying, keep doing it. See, that's the habits you're forming right there. Then eventually you get tired of starting over and then you're going to finish it. What kills a lot of people's aspirations is once they fall off the horse, they get off the rail, they get sidetracked, they don't start over. They don't pick up where they left off. What they do is, this is the thing that people do. They go find some other thing that they want to do and try to start over with that. Or start with that, not start over. Start something new. I see it all the time. I see people, hey, I got this business, I'm doing this, and then they reach a point where it's not working, or it seems like it's not working. But, I always tell you, it's always working. Even in the times where it looks like it's not working, it's working. What it's showing you is maybe you need to just reevaluate how you're doing stuff. And then they quit and they go to something new. And then they get to a point with that and and then they move on to something else. Know what habit they're developing? Giving up. And starting new processes. Because they figure, maybe that was a bad idea. Let me go over here. Maybe this is a bad idea. Let me go over here. I've had that happen. People I work with. Right before they get to they reach that point, that threshold of a new level, they give up. Guess what? And guess what type of things they let get in their way? That we allow to get in their way. Oh, I got to go to this event that's costing me money and not making me money. See, they don't want to sacrifice the stuff that costs them money, the entertainment. See, this system is designed to entertain you. And the entertainment is the distraction. Looking for fun and having fun and having a good time is good. It's great. But let me tell you something. You will have better fun and have a better time when your bank account is overflowing And you could just drop that, whatever it is you want to have fun with, and don't have to worry about the bills the next day. But if you are in a situation where if you take a vacation and you got to work that money back and it's going to set you back and you got to really, then you're not in a position for a lot of entertainment. What you're in a position for is a lot of sacrifices. So you can get to that position where you can entertain without worry. But see, the people that stay in that poverty setting is they prioritize entertainment. And they say things like, you got to have balance. They say things like, you got to make time for family. Let me tell you something. If your family don't understand what you're trying to do to deliver yourself from generational poverty and generational working for people for the rest of your life, then they are truly not your family in that sense that you're trying to go. They're blood, flesh and blood, but if they can't get that, then you have to reevaluate that. It's even in, I think the scripture I was reading, it's Matthew's. Let me share my screen. It's Matthew's. Hope I'm not put my up here. It's Matthew's chapter 12. And right at the end of it says, while he was yet speaking to the multitudes, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without seeking to speak to him. And one said unto him, behold. Now his mother and brothers it says, while yet speaking to the multitudes, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without seeking to speak to him. They weren't really trying to talk to him. But someone said, and one said unto him, behold, thy mother, thy brethren stand without, seeking to speak to thee. But he answered and said unto him that hold him, who is my mother and who is my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand towards his disciples and said, behold, my mother and my brethren, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father who is in heaven, he is my brother and sister and mother. So it's saying whoever is in that same community you is your brother, sister, mother, father. In that same path. Just because you born into a family, you're not going to all take the same path. Just because you're blood related, you're not going to all believe the same things or even agree on anything. If you want to know how quick family fall out, let somebody die in the family and see how much they think of you as family. When it comes to that bread. When they want some of that money and they think you trying to take it from them or vice versa. See how good most estates in this country, especially in our community, get torn apart simply when somebody dies. You start to see how real family is towards you, how serious. So all of this family affair stuff, we got to put that into perspective, because when it all comes down to it, it becomes every man for himself when it comes to somebody, when they feel like they losing out on some money. I can guarantee most of y'all who listening to me right now can tell of an experience with someone who passed and how crazy it got when it came to splitting up that estate. Even when the person who passed left specific instructions, they still don't listen to that. That's why you have to have trust set in place. Not wills, a trust. That specifically outlines what is going to happen, because a will is what you want to happen. A trust is what is required to happen. Know the difference. You hear people, oh, you need to set up a will. Yeah, how many wills get shut down? And even a trust can be questioned, but it has better standing in probate court, way better. And if it's an irrevocable trust, it's even better. That much better. That's why that's part of the stuff that I teach or show people. So he said, Who is my mother and brother? Who is your mother and brothers? Who is it that you hold dear to your heart in your surroundings that you value? Who are they? Are they people that they don't have to agree with what you want to do, but are they in alignment, meaning that they don't get in the way of what you want to do? This is not that they have to agree. What it is are they in support of whatever you want to do, even if they don't understand it? So many times, and I listen to people, they tell stories, and they talk about the things they want for their children. Like the big thing that we have in our society now is they want their children to have degrees. A lot of people want to have a degree in something so that their children can be well-rounded, be ready for this workforce, so they can have a job. See, people who are in a certain space of living can't see anything other than that. They can't see the other side of not having a 9-to-5 and getting up every day. They can't see past that. And no matter if you're like me, who's not in that space, no matter how much I try to share that experience with them, unless they live it, they won't understand it. Unless they walk it, they won't get it. They'll just have an idea. It'll just be a theory. It'll just be something someone else does. But let me get back to the point I'm trying to make. Sometimes we as parents can destroy our children's goals or aspirations through these wanting them to have something that we have or we didn't get. Let's namely a college degree. Now, I don't have to go and look up stats to tell you of what the effect of a college degree is on a person. I don't have to do that. You just look around in your neighborhoods. Whether you will live in a low-income neighborhood or a medium-income or a well-to-do neighborhood. College degrees just teach you to do one thing. That when you go to school, to do one thing is to get that degree so that you can go be employed. That's the number one goal of that, right? But say you have a child that's looking into things like a big business, setting up his own business, becoming an entrepreneur. Regular schools don't teach you that. That they do have business schools outside of the mainstream schools. They do have schools that teach you how to be entrepreneurs. But the traditional schooling is not set up for that, where most people are going. 85% of people, 80 to 85% of people are going to once they leave high school. So basically, they're going into a system, a factory system that is training them to be an employee. And they're being trained by an employee of an institution. So it's nowhere, no how that in that association will they will ever learn how to be in business for themselves. This is why when people, after working so many years, like me, for instance, after I got into my 40s, I was like, I'm tired. What am I doing here? This is not leading me where I can truly be happy. So I chose to be self-employed. And that's how a lot of adults become after something. I want something different. But the only reason why they don't do it because they live in fear that they won't be able to pay their bills, so they don't take the chance to do something new. Because they don't want to lose what they've already got from working this job. They see security in that. But back to the children. I had someone say to me, oh, my son is looking into this, he's about this business. I don't know what he's doing. They were kind of criticizing it. Then I'm like, what type of business? Well, he's not saying anything about it. He's keeping it close to himself. And I was like, wow, that's smart. I said, it's smart he's not saying anything. What do you mean by that smart? I said, because where he's going, most people is not willing to go. So if he starts sharing his ideas with people who don't really believe in what he's going to do or even understand what he's going to do, he's going to get criticism that he doesn't need to hear in the beginning stage of trying to develop his business knowledge or this business process he's developing. He needs to really be off by himself. He need to be like that scripture. Go off into your secret place. There God will be. That's where he was. And I saw that clearly. But being in the position that I am in, I could see that. But from the parent point of view, it looked like he was wasting his time. He's not really focusing on this degree. Now, mind you, he only got a few months left. He graduates in June. So he's already, he's doing what he set out to do, get that degree. But at the same time, I know this kid realizes that this degree is not going to take him to the wealth that he's looking for. I've known this kid for a while, so I kind of know what he wants. Like, he wants that big money, that money that you can leave behind to your children and your grandchildren. That's what he's looking for. This kid was studying stocks when he was 12, 13 years old. And ever since then, he's been. But my point is this. When parents or people are in a position where they're working every day and then they see someone else doing something different, that looks like that's a problem to them. That looks like he's not going to be like us. He's going to mess up because what if his business fails? And that's the stuff that's probably going through their mind. Like, what if this doesn't work? But let me tell you something about the job stuff. That doesn't work. All that does is get you to the next month so that you can pay the bills. There's no generational wealth coming out of being an employee. See, but in the mind of a person in that mindset, it does work. They don't mind living in quiet desperation. And that's what it is. Because the quiet desperation is anytime these people could shut this institution down and I'm be out of a job and I got to go look for a new one so I can continue this quiet desperation of life of holding on to a job and hoping someone liked me enough to keep me here, that I could retire. I really wasn't planning on going this route today, but I'm here because I still ain't finished my list. See, this is what the scripture is talking about. Who is your mother, your brothers and sisters? Who are they? Are they the same mindset you doing the things that you would like to? Or they don't even have to be in the same mindset. What I mean is, are they supporting where you going? As long as where you going is not trying to kill someone, harm someone, people should pretty much be okay with that. Because nobody knows the divine inspiration that you've been given. Nobody knows that but you. That is a contract. That is an agreement. That is a covenant that God gave you. Here's the idea, here's the divine idea, move on it. You don't need nobody's validation. You don't need anybody's validation. The validation was the idea when it came to you. There's a lot of ideas I hear people telling me and I don't really get it. But then I have to be mindful. I have to remember that ain't my idea. That's theirs. There's a lot of ideas I hear that I think they could do it a different way and be just as successful. But that's the thing. That ain't my idea. That's theirs. I'm really learning and growing up and saying, listen, when people come to you with ideas, just let them run with it and see how it goes. Don't give them a better way. Don't open up the path for them unless they ask you or invite you in to do it. Because you know what's happened? I've given what I thought was a better idea, and they still go to the other route. Why? Why do they still go the other route? Because they believe in the way they saw it when they got it.
And that's fine. That's good. Maybe eventually, now I've seen a lot of people start one way and then they end up where I suggested in the first place. But guess what? They had to go that whole path, and that was their divine path. It wasn't my job to try to skip them over to this path. They had to go that. Why? Because to go that path, they could fully appreciate. Because see, sometimes God is going to give you, not sometimes, he will give you an idea that starts off over here, but you're over there. But he understands that you have to grow up in this process. So you got to do it this way, the harder way. Because the harder way is the way you're going to appreciate where you end up. You're going to appreciate that. You're going to say, okay, I did all this, and man, I could have did it a different way. No, you were supposed to do it that way. Because that's where the growth starts. That's where the plant, when you plant a seed, right? It could be a tree. God can just instantly make trees, right? You have to put it in the seed and all of this and go through all of this germination and stuff like that. No, it goes through a process. Starts off like this. You put it in the ground in some soil. You got to look after it, till it. Somebody's got to work it. Make sure it stays healthy. And as that tree gets, man, I remember when I really put in all that work, and look where it is now. It's the same thing in your business. It's the same thing in those divine ideas. It's the same process. It has to start off here. And it has to be, you have to consistently water it and take care of it and make sure that nothing comes in to destroy it. And when I say nothing comes in to destroy it, that means family, friends, whoever. You got to guard those things. And this is what this young man is doing. He's not telling nobody. Because this is how when you living amongst people who don't share in your values, you got to keep your mouth shut. That's how, how do I do it? I live with this one. Stop telling them stuff. Stop talking about it. Don't give them, hey, I'm excited. No, don't do that. Understand who you're talking to. Have they been supportive of your ideas before? No. Then what makes you think they're going to be supportive of this one? No. It's very smart how he's handling it. Although the person that was telling me didn't agree with what I was saying. No, because they wanted him all they see for him is a degree. And I posed this one question. You have a degree, right? You have a job. Yes, I got all of that. Do you want to get up and work for someone every day? No, I know I don't. Then why do you want the same thing for your son? And I stopped them cold in their tracks when I said that. Why do you push the same ideology on your child that you don't even want for yourself? You are doing this because you feel like it's the only thing you got that can help you pay these bills. Is that really how God put us on this planet to be? To live in this quiet desperation of doing things because we feel like we have no other choice? And remember, that's a feeling. You feel like you have no other choice, but you do have other choices. You can live in the power and the glory and the divinity of what God made you to be, to have dominion over all things. But you choose to accept man's way of what he calls is a successful life or being a productive citizen of society. I hope y'all getting my point. But here we go. That's right. You make your list. We're going back on topic. You make your list. Now you make a plan for your list. How are you got this list. How are you going to implement this list out? What are you going to do daily? What are you going to give up? What are you going to sacrifice? I don't have to tell you what that is. You can figure that out for yourself. What is it that you do that's not making you any money that you waste time on? And eliminate that. And put in its place something that is making you money. Right? I'll give you a good example. My sons like to play video games. They love it. You know, I hooked them. I started that generational habit. I was the first one to bring a gaming system into the home when I was a kid. I introduced it to my brother Greg, and then from then on, I introduced it to my children. And I said, listen, it's okay if y'all want to play these games. It's okay. But do this though. Let's do this. Won't you stream now those games and get some followers and let people watch you? They start paying you to play the game. There's always the things you love to do. There's always a way to make money. There's no excuses. So if let's just say gaming is your thing, make a plan on how you're going to stream it, what equipment you're going to use to do it. You don't need any fancy to start. You don't need any expensive equipment to get started with that. And there's plenty of YouTube videos out there you can look up and you can find how to do it. So those questions are answered easily. The key is just to get started with it. And now you're playing the game, you're sharing it to the public, and you're getting paid eventually. You'll eventually get paid doing that. See, and there's some people sitting around, man, playing games is stupid. No, that's a $1 billion a year industry. I'm sorry. I see people from young to old playing games. So all people that tell you it's stupid, okay, well, it's a stupid industry that's making lots and lots of bread. People making some money off of it. Okay? Maybe that's just not your thing. That's not your calling. So, you make a plan for your list. And I already said you got to sacrifice old habits. You got to give up some stuff. You got to give up the phone calls, being on the phone talking about nothing. Give up a lot of television time, TikTok time, Facebook time, all that stuff. All those things that take your money away. I gotta shoot. While I'm talking about this, some things I gotta sacrifice because I picked up some habits I need to get rid of. Writing it down right now. And the number one thing, the biggest thing, you can have all of that stuff that I just said, is all well and good, but without consistency, it's nothing. And what I mean be consistent, first you need to be consistently able to, if you fall off the rails, you get off track, you lose focus, you get back up and you keep going. Because eventually you're going to get tired of getting back up again. You're going to be like, I'm just going to get this done. Make a habit of being consistent. Make that your number one habit, that I am, no matter what, I'm going to be consistent. No matter what distraction comes my way, I'm going to be consistent. And let me warn you. Here's the warning. Let me warn you. Let me bring my screen back here. Let me warn you. The moment you do all of what I just said, all hell is going to break loose to try to keep you from this. I want you to know that. All kind of things is going to start. All kind of distractions are going to come and try to prevent you from doing any of this, to sidetrack you. Kids going to get sick. This one got to go here. This one need that. Oh, you got to do that. All kind of things. And the moment you allow that just one thing to get in the way of that plan, you're going to be off track. And it's going to be hard to get back on because you have just developed a neural pathway to put off what you said you're going to do for something else. Now, it ain't my call to tell you when to not do something or when to do something. I'm just letting you know all hell is going to break loose. All kind of things is going to happen to distract you. The moment you make a commitment to do these things to change your life, because the old life has an energy and it wants you to stay there. And the moment it sees all of this change that you're trying to do, it's going to send out what you call a survival impulse or a survival signal. Say, I want him to be like this. I want him to stay like this. It's gonna send all kind of chaos your way. All the chaos that's been set up in reserve. We're just waiting for a moment like this gonna come up. And those of you who have tried to make some changes, I'm sure you can confirm what I'm saying. And remember, those storms, those distractions is just really illusionary distractions, posing as something that you must take care of right then and there. Yeah. See, you've been walking in a certain vibration all your life, and it's used to that. And as soon as you try to get off, it's, well, wait a minute, this ain't the vibration I'm used to. We got to get back to the old vibration. Let me just, boom, boom, all the stuff going to come at you. You're going to have to weather that. You're going to have to weather that, you're going to have to not allow that to distract you, whatever that is. I can't tell you what it is. I've seen people ready to make the big pivotal change in their life, and guess what? Somebody passes away. Right on the brink of that. And that passing away of whoever, that someone passing away is what distracted them. See? No one said, just because you have a great idea, divine idea, that life is not going to still happen. See, Christ said, just as I suffer, you will suffer. All the pains and trials and tribulations he went through, you're going to go through it. But that's why he prepared his disciples. That's why you're being prepared. Okay, these crazy things may just pop up. But I got to stay focused. This is what God gave me. This is the mission that God gave me to fulfill. And I got to not allow whatever it is to get in the way. So who's out there? It's 10:48. Let's see. We got DJ B Thunder. He said, "Morning, everyone." And he said, "Peace, love, and extreme wealth to everyone." I second that. Happy Sunday, Corinne. Above and Beyond with Corinne. You should put your channel up there, Corinne, so people can go to your channel. Advertise your channel in the chat, please. Thank you. And while I'm doing this, I got a question. While I'm reading these out, how many of you have experienced wanting to make a change in your life, and then as soon as you're about to make a change, something came along and to distract you from that? If you want, share that experience with you, whether it be in the chat or you can share it in the, I got the Telegram channel up. I'll give y'all the link if y'all want to. Get that. There it is. If you want to share that online. So I was at Corinne. Okay. C. King Bay says, "Peace, everyone." And DJ B Thunder said, "Realistic is realistic to the person who believes in their vision." Right. Exactly. It's the shiny object syndrome. And DJ B Thunder said, "Facts. I told my son about a trust bank account, and he said they have fees. He didn't think about the big picture, recoupment, but it's not for everyone." You're right. They treat trust bank accounts as a business, but if you go in there as a nonprofit trust, say it's a nonprofit trust. I just threw that out there. I haven't gotten that. All those are in my membership. I haven't really talked about that because I'm gathering information. Nonprofits typically those accounts don't have fees. Church accounts, things like that, they don't have fees. He said it hurt my heart that he was that short-sighted, but he just bought $400 bottle of Catones. See, that's what they see. That's because he wants to impress some chick or, some female. You want to smell good, which is nice. A $400 bottle of cologne is okay to buy. But if your finances is shaky, that ain't the time to buy $400 cologne. And a lot of people without money spend money to look like they got money, while people who have money try to spend as least as possible. Try to look like they don't have money. All right. Okay, she put her channel up there. There it is, Above and Beyond with Corinne. That's her channel. He said, I've experienced that when you're ascending, something always try to hold you on to you, shake them off your ankles as you move up. LOL. Yes, absolutely. That's typically, as you're trying to go to that next level, it's always going to be something that's going to shut you down. And my next point, I gave y'all the list. I gave y'all the warning, but I also want to leave y'all with this before I shut down, because this is what I wanted to teach you on here. It was in chapter 12. Let's go back to what I was reading. Chapter 12. It said, Matthew chapter 12. At that season, Jesus went on the Sabbath day through the grain fields. Mentioned it was a Sabbath. Sabbath day, they ain't supposed to be working and doing stuff, right? And his disciples were hungry and began to pluck ears and to eat. But the Pharisees, when they saw it, said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath. And he said unto them, Have you not read what David did when he was hungry? And they that were with him, and he entered into the house of God, and he ate the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them that were with him, but only for the priest? Or have ye not read in the law that on the Sabbath day the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are guiltless? But I say unto you that one greater than the temple is here. But if you had known what this meaneth, desire mercy and not sacrifice, ye would not have condemned the guiltless. For the Son of Man is the Lord of the Sabbath. So they were trying to make a big deal. They were hungry. And they, according to their law, that you're not supposed to do any work on the Sabbath. So they plucked and they ate, right? Then he departed thence and went into their synagogue. And behold, a man having a withered hand, and they asked him, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him? And he said unto them, What man shall there be of you that shall have one sheep, and if this fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold on it and lift it out? How much then is he of more value than a sheep? Wherefore it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath day. Then saith he to the man, Stretch forth thy hand, and he stretched it forth, and it was restored whole as the other. But the Pharisees went out and took counsel against him how they might destroy him. See, these Pharisees were so hypocritical. They would rescue one of their flock, a sheep, than to try to heal someone in need or take care of someone in need because it was the Sabbath. That was their excuse. And that's the point. The point I'm trying to make is we have to use our common sense. Yeah, maybe you have these rituals or whatever you do, but if someone's in need, you help. Oh, well, it's this and that, and I can't do it because of this and that. You help if they genuinely are in need. I do realize that we're living in times where people try to take advantage of people's kindness, but we have to see through that. Like, for instance, I see people on the same people on the same side of the highway all the time asking for money. Now, how many times am I going to drive by that same light and give that same person money? At some point, and I'm talking, these people have been there for years. At some point, that's a business for them. Asking people for money. That's their way of life. When they can just as easily go the money that, okay, maybe you needed to do that in the beginning, ask some people for some money. And you get the money and you take the money and you maybe buy something, go buy a thing of water and sell people water for $1 or $2, whatever. Give them something for their money. Exchange. It's called reciprocity. Exchange something. But when you see the same people standing out there, they're not destitute as they try to make you believe. See, people like that, that's a career. And their way of making money is to get you to give them money while they're standing there every day. You know, they got people, you know, a lot of people, and I see some of them, they look healthy. They're eating something. They're getting meals. They, you know, food stamp program, they get that. But when I'm talking about someone in need, someone who has worked hard and they fall on hard times, may need some help. That's what this scripture is referring to. This man was with it. He had an ailment that needed to be fixed. Oh, how can you call your son of God and you say, yeah, you gotta have to wait till tomorrow. Today is the Sabbath before I can hear you. Come back tomorrow. And this is what the Pharisees was expecting. But at the same time, if something that they had in their possession got lost, and they didn't want to lose it, they'd go see, because see, to the Pharisees, it didn't benefit them to heal someone. It doesn't benefit them. They're selfish in devious ways. So, the point I'm trying to make is, while you're on this climb to success or whatever it is, the best way to get to success is through service of others, helping others. Now, sometimes in your service of others, you can give some charity, but then you can get compensated at the same time. Because when Jesus was telling his disciples to go out, he told them not to take anything. Know why? Because when he go out there, the people will provide it for him. Yeah, and I think that's in chapter 11. He was instructing them, don't take this and don't take that. Because your needs will be provided, because you're doing the divine work of God. The people will provide for you. See, they were doing work. They were doing mind healing work. They were doing actual physical healing work. That deserves some type of compensation. But when you see these people just standing out here all day, every day, asking for money, what are you getting? You just dumping your money into an empty well. I'm not telling you where to put your money. What Christ is showing, you want to help those who want to help themselves. Most people, there's a lot of people out there that they just want you to give them something. They don't want to give you nothing in return or do anything for you in return. It's so many things you can do if you fall on hard times that you can, hey, if you're able-bodied, and a lot of these guys are able-bodied people that can do something. Anyway, somebody said, like Reverend Ike said, I can lend you a hand up, but I cannot let you pull me down. Absolutely. And Ronnie Day said, peace, family. Absolutely. It's 11 o'clock. So it's Christmas Eve. I hope that everybody enjoys their holiday, their time off with the family, whatever you're choosing to do. Go enjoy that. I think we're going to all spend time together as a family this evening. That's pretty much it. We thought about going away, but staying home. I'm chilling. I need to charge up, actually. I get so many things that I have ready to roll for the next year. And oh yeah, the ritual is, let me see, pull my thing up. Here it is. Okay, let me pull it up. If you go to my website, akemail.com, I'm going to share this screen right now. There it is. All the information, the Zoom link, everything's there. So join us December 31st, 11 p.m. Of course, I always started off playing, Reverend Ike stuff for the first 30 minutes of that 11. So if you just want to hear nothing but positive messaging, 11 o'clock, and go to my website, all the instructions on what you need to have. You need your brown paper bag, your pencils, and something to burn it in a safe place, to burn your things that you want to happen for yourself. You fold that brown paper bag up towards you, because whatever you want to happen for you, you fold it towards you, and then you burn it up, send it up into the ether. And I am going to add something else that I'm gonna. I bought these. It's called Camphor. CAMPHOR. Let me see if I can. It's either camphor oil. It's a chemical that is used to be made by distilling the bark and wood of the camphor tree. And it's one of those things that, what is that? Cinnamon, and you want to bring peace, protection to the home. They sell it on Amazon. Actually, I'll show you what you have. Just look up some, you did some YouTube videos. You can look up on what you can do with those things. I bought some. I'm into the natural ways of making things happen. I'm into the natural healings and the natural spiritual healings. So this is a natural substance. They call them soul sticks, but here they are. This is what they look like. I'm gonna share the screen, and I'll give y'all a link. Give me a second. Let me get the link for you. Let me get this link. And I'll put it in there if y'all want to get some for yourself. Share the screen. There they are. 100% pure and natural. And there's some YouTube videos that I was watching that kind of tell you how to use them. This is what I'm going to be doing leading up to the new year. Using these. So there you go. And I will put the link in the chat for you. There it is. And Reggie Reg says, great message, sir. Thank you. Evaluation requires separation. I like that. That is so true. Yes. To evaluate yourself, you got to get away from the distractions. I really like when that young man who's looking into his business endeavors and he's separate. He knows he got the wisdom. Hey, this is my people's. This is my parents. But I still know I got to keep my mouth shut. That's wisdom. And I know this young man is going to be the millionaire in the family. I know it. I called it. But anyway. So before I close out, I just want to, because this is, we have, all right, that's right. We got another Sunday show before that. So first, I want to shout out to all the people I work with at the trucking company. Ahmed, my son Akeem, Javon, Dwayne, all of those guys. They worked hard all year long to keep our company functioning, doing great work. We still have challenges, but we get through them. We get through them. The money we're making, we're bringing in the revenue, but sometimes the bills is heavy. You know, trucking company generates a lot of expenses, but multi-million-dollar year coming. It's here. The multi-million-dollar year. I haven't really gone on and did the numbers for the whole year, but we finished this year pretty strong. And we're going to get our 10 trucks. We're going to get them. But anyway, thanks to all of them for making it a successful year for us. And I just wanted to say that publicly. So, with that being said, you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday and hope that you guys have a good holiday tomorrow. Try to stay away from negative conversations. Try to stay away from negative people. Stop. And the negative people you need to stay away is yourself. Because if you're starting to think something negative and want to talk something negative, you got to disassociate from that consciousness and move on to something positive. Try to be more positive than negative. You know, this world is defaulting to the negative. I watch so many channels, and all they do is talk about people when they're down or when they get in trouble. They want to highlight, oh, this person, this and this and that. You know, let me tell you something about the law of reciprocity. I thought I was about to go, but I ain't going. I got something else to say. The law of reciprocity is real. You could be a person that don't do anything. You know, you keep your nose clean. But if you are that person that talks about people's negative or their downfalls, whether they justly got in trouble or got into some problems or not, the law of reciprocity says whatever you put out, you will get back tenfold. So if you talk negative about somebody's situation or talk down and try to call them out, 10 times that's coming back to you. Karma is real. That's another word for saying reciprocity. And guess what? Karma is instant. You get instant karma. Some people, no, instant. There's no such thing as I don't see people paying for their stuff 2 years later. No, karma is instant. Let me tell you why it's instant. It's instant because the moment someone does something that they know is wrong, and most people know when they're doing wrong, that conscience convicts them. There's the instant karma. Now, whether they see the results of that karma in the real world application of this 3D realm, this 3D dimension, right in the physical, that may take some time. Because why? Because it's setting itself up to give it to you perfectly the way you gave it back out. It's setting itself up to be piled up and then just dump it right on your shoulders so that you can realize what you did, that karma that you created, you need to learn from it. That's why I'm very careful. It's so many things people have, that came against me a lot. I mean, they say, and sometimes I'll be wanting to react, but I say, you remember, when you react, there is going to be reaction. That's why I try to keep my messages on these platforms positive. Yes, do I get a lot of views? No, I don't. Because most people are negatively charged. They're charged in a negative way, and because they're charged in a negative way, they go looking for more of that. I try to keep my messages positively charged, that it will reach the few, the narrow, the people that want to go through that narrow road that's hard to stay on. That's all I'm trying to reach. See, it depends on the audience you want. I remember this big YouTuber, he's pretty big now, was trying to give me advice on, we spoke one-on-one. Hey, this is what you need to do. You gotta create these wild titles to get people, because I know he's right. If I did it that way, he's right. I would get it. But at what cost would that be? At what cost? This Let's do this. Here it is. Let's pull up. It's Matthew chapter 16. I think it was verse 26. Let's share the screen on this one. It says, I'll read the whole thing. It's 26 is where I want to get, but I always like to read extra. It says, if anyone wants to come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. So what that says, you must deny the worldly desires that are popular if you want to be of the Christ mind, right? For whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. So if a lot of these people who are doing these different channels that are negatively charged, they're trying to gain the likes, the followers. I got all these straight, and they get their little plaque from YouTube saying, and they can put it on their wall. I got this plaque, yay. But how did you get the plaque? Criticizing and downing other people's problems, even if those people deserved it. That's their walk. That's their karma that they got to deal with. We don't have to participate in that. We don't have to talk about that. We don't have to reinforce people's bad behavior by sharing it with the world. Right? What will it profit a man if he gains the whole world yet forfeits his soul? See, that's the part that I don't want to deal with. I don't want to forfeit my divinity for the sake of gaining likes and people wanting to be on my channel. Because why? Because my divinity gonna live on in the infinite. Look at Reverend Ike. People hated him when he was preaching. A lot of people hated him. All other pastors hate him, just like Christ had his haters. But look, guess what now? They got a book that came out about him. I just bought it, a brand new book, his son. And there's another guy co-authored the book. And people are playing his messages. It's like his messages live on forever because they apply not just in this decade, but to the decades to come. Not just in the decades where he was preaching those words. Everybody's talking that stuff now that he's talking. What did he say? You can't lose with the stuff I use. And the stuff he uses, still people are using it over and over and again. I use it. So we don't, and I'm only saying this for those of you who want to create content. You're going to get challenged to make a choice on how you're going to get your followers. I want genuine followers. I don't want followers just here because I invited them in with some negative content or negative title. That's easy. But you want your wealth, your foundation to be built solid. Because Reverend Ike's foundation is so solid, he's gone and people are still listening to his messages as if he just preached them yesterday. How many preachers can you go back and remember that? I can't name too many, even the ones that are alive today. Yeah, they say some good things and they say this. I can listen to Reverend Ike over and over again. And some of those recordings, I can tell you, they've got over 100 to 200 plays on them. I'm not saying that to brag. I say that because that's what it's going to take for you to be more successful, that you have to listen to more positive content than negative. You got to cut the negative out of your life. He said, for the Son of Man will come in his first Father's glory and with his angels, then he will repay each one according to what he has done. You will be repaid for whatever you do, good or bad. You are going to be repaid. So that's why I say karma is instant. Because the moment you put that out there, it's coming. That conviction of the conscious is going to come. Because your spiritual side going to say, that wasn't right. But see, some of us are so caught up in our ego and our physical nature. We hear that voice and we move on and we try to ignore it. But it always comes back. You will be repaid for your deeds. There's no getting around it. No getting sideways up. You getting your payment. Some of y'all, your bank account kind of low, right? That's repayment. So we might want to reevaluate your thinking when it comes to the finances. How do you look at your finances? Are you saying I'm broke? Or are you saying I'm wealthy? Which one are you saying? Anyway, I thought I done went on a whole another 10 minutes. But there you have it. I had to go over that. I thought I wasn't going to get to that, but I had to listen. God is not to be mocked. You will reap what you sow. So whatever you're doing, do it with honor, integrity, and with love, compassion, and respect. All right? There's the link for that camphor and register elevation. Requires separation. That's what he said. All right, well, I think this was a good message. I hope you received it and able to use some of it, or use it all, use some of it. Whatever you can do with it, do with it. But what I'll ask y'all one thing before I go, all the people that's on, press the like button. And if you think someone could benefit from this, share it. Share it out there. All right? I appreciate you. And with that being said, peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all. You guys.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.